All right, guys, welcome back to BassQuest. Today we're going to be talking casting a cast net, especially in the wintertime. Now, you'll see on a bigger cast nets, there's a lot of videos of guys out there, and they do a three-part load method where they take these big cast nets down on the beach, pull them out, get them all straightened out, like so, and they load a section of the net over their shoulder, and then they load another section over their other shoulder, and then cast these big 10 and 12 foot cast nets, which is great when it's 85 degrees down in Florida, but not so great when it's 18 degrees before daylight in Tennessee. So we need a way that we can cast a good sized cast net without getting it all over our bodies and getting water everywhere on top of us, because nobody wants to fish just soaked and wet, right? So this method I'm about to show you will allow you to cast a good sized cast net. You know, I cast a 9-footer, a 10-footer, an 8-footer with this method, and very little problems on here. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this cast net out, get all these braille lines pushed out as far as we can. I'm going to wrap up the rope. We're not going real big with our little loops here. Go too big, what'll happen is it'll get into the net itself. All right, so we've got it all the way up here to the beginning of the swivel. Bring our horn up. Now we're going to grab down here about 1.5 feet below the horn. And you can see I've got it coming across my palm directly towards me, just like that. Now I'm going to work my way down this net, okay? Again, opening that thing up. I'm going to turn this net again, just like this. We're going to grab it down here low. Now, if I'm wanting to throw just right next to the boat and just make a really short and open cast, I'm going to grab it about right at my hip or a little bit above my hip. If I want to throw further, I'm going to choke down on it a little bit further, down towards my middle of my quad, let's say. All right, so now we've got it at this point right here. What we're going to do is we're going to start separating portions of this net. All right, you can see I'm just kind of pulling it out. No real crazy science to this. We want to have roughly half of the net now in our left hand and half of the net in our right hand. Now we're just chilling here, okay? I'm going to grab it down here, you know, about 1.5 foot above these weights, and I'm going to wrap it over towards myself, and we're going to toss it right back in this right hand. All right, so now I've got this net somewhat open. Then I'm going to grab the section of weights that's closest to me. I'm going to flop it over my hand, just like that. So now I've got this net somewhat open, right? Now this left hand is super important. You know, with my elbow the way it is after it was shattered, you know, falling off a roof, I can't throw with my left arm anymore. So this is really, really effective for someone who has a weaker shoulder or a weaker arm. You can pick whichever strong arm you want to use to actually make your throw. So this hand, the weak hand, or the hand that's got this one section of the net itself in there, we're going to let go with this one last. That's kind of the key. And we want to rotate back and use our hips and our body to swing this out. Now, it's tempting to try to make it open with some kind of weird whipping rotation, because you would think that would open the net better, but you're almost just lobbing it straight ahead. That's going to give you the best opening. And you're going to have to do this, guys. You're going to have to do it out in your yard 100 times to get it to open right. And I recommend, you know, starting with a little bit smaller net than this one and a little bit lighter. But here we go. And then we're just going to open it right up like that. Now, a heavy net like this, it's a little bit harder to open up fully. That's not a bad little spread right there. That's going to catch you a ton of bait. But a lighter net, you can really pancake that thing, and you can pancake it far away from the boat. So that's one thing you got to remember. Heavy net, great for deep water because you can get right on top of the bait and just toss it right next to the boat. Lightweight net, you can launch it far. So if I'm in shallow water and I'm worried about the bait getting away, I'm going to launch that net, that smaller shallow water net out there. And then when we're retrieving the net, this is another great thing about this method. So say net sank to the bottom. All right, I'm pulling in my bait. All right, we do this, get it up in the boat, and I dump my net inside my bait tank. To reload, I've already run my lines. I've already reeled in my lines there. Pull back, grab the horn, 1.5 down. Make sure there's not obstructions in the net like this piece of stick that I just got in there. All right, boom. Reach down here, grab it.
I think you have some of my corn stalk in there.
Yeah, that's what that is, I think. Pull out roughly half the net. Now we're ready to throw again almost. So there we go, boom. Ready to get out there again. Throw it right on top of them again, boom. And that gives you a way that you can get right back on top of the bait. It doesn't take a whole lot of time to load it back up. You're not throwing it over your body and getting soaked and wet. You can wear bibs with rubber boots and you'll stay dry doing this. You know, if it's really, really cold outside, you probably want to wear your tops on your rain gear as well. But
gloves?
Wear gloves if you need to.
I'm a baby. I wear gloves.
I recommend, so if you do, this is actually a good point, babe. All right, so if you do want to wear gloves, if it's really, really cold outside, you know, I can handle this thing freezing to my hands and still throw it. But a lot of people, you know, that's not going to be fun for anybody, right? If you're going to use gloves, don't use big, bulky hunting gloves or a lot of the neoprene style fishing gloves that you have on the market, because that's going to affect you on a bigger net being able to grip all of that net in your hand at one time, right? And be able to toss it out. What you want to use is some just work gloves, garden or mechanics gloves that are dipped. So you see Howa makes the best ones on the market. That's what you see commercial fishermen using in Alaska. And you can get them insulated or non-insulated. I would recommend a fully dipped glove or a double dipped glove, work glove, that is non-insulated because it's thinner that way, and I can make sure I can load that net into there and begin again and start over again. We're gonna pull out half of it, roll it over, flop it back this way.
I feel like I could throw a cast net now.
Pancaking on that bait, just like that. All right, guys, I hope this helps you when you're out on the water chasing these great big bass and striper, catfish, whatever you want to call it, whatever you decide to hunt. As always, I hope this week finds you out on the water, and I'll catch you there.